Hey, what's going on? It's the hungry hustling American dream Afro man. Wake and bake, America. Yeah, you're chilling with Mr. Ashtray.
That's Mr. Trey, not Ashtray.
You're listening to Mr. Trey, and you know why. Yeah. Yeah.
You won't be texting and driving with us up in your ride.
Afternoon, happy holidays if that's what you're doing. Shout out to you too. What up, Chris? I'm about to. What up, Chris?
I got you.
So, Chris, before we get too far down the rabbit train, probably gonna go in a direction that I said I wasn't gonna go in. Right? Probably gonna go in that direction.
Uh-oh.
Even if it's just temporarily. Okay? So, what direction I say? Well, there are many directions in the world, and I don't follow any of them. Not even my own. No, Chris, before we can start the show, first off, I've belayed the fan mail for this week in order to put out a very, very important PSA.
A PSA, huh?
Yeah, very important PSA. Okay? Because at the end of the day, who doesn't like a good PSA, right?
True.
Or even if they don't like a good PSA, I always say, buck them. Buck them right in the keister culo.
We got one for you anyway.
But it is time for Turnt Up Headlines. It is the Turnt Up. It's Turnt Up Headlines Part 1. This is something that I've enjoyed doing for a really, really long time. And it's a bit of a flickerist, as I like to say, that we like to do around here. It's really fun. The Turnt Up Headlines really gives us an opportunity to find just the craziest crap we can find, essentially, Chris, and then throw it out there. You know what I mean?
Okay. I've got one I want to throw in there that you probably didn't have on the programming today. If we're gonna do some poo flinging.
Well, before you do that, I need to do my PSA.
Okay.
And if I'm gonna do a PSA, I'm gonna have to do a proper PSA. Try and kill it. All right. If we're gonna do a proper PSA, we're gonna do it right. America. The moment stand-up comedians are losing their job for satire because they're diametrically opposed to your belief system, the moment that's happening, America, you are by and large and by and far as far from democracy as you have been since you thought you had a real democracy when people were owned. America, when stand-up comedians are losing their job over satire because they are diametrically opposed to what you like or think, is the minute that you have to realize that you are about as far from a democracy as you can possibly have been in the last 100 years, America. That's all. That's my PSA. I want you to take that to heart and think about that for a second. All right, now that we're done thinking about it, let's move on. Did I mention I have ADHD and I really don't I have the attention span of a wombat?
A gnat.
I don't know what a wombat's attention span is, but they sound so cool. I mean, if I want to, come on, squirrel, too easy. ADHD guy got squirrel fever. Oh, you came up with something on your own, did you? Now,
Down under.
ADHD guy has, awesome, wombat fever. I vibe with that. I wonder if a wombat is crazy or is it just like a chill thing? I genuinely wonder that. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say. Now, you, on the other hand, my dear and wonderful friend, you said you had something to bring to the table if we're going to talk crazy headlines. So hit me.
All right, let's do a little poo flinging. The old prank book coming out of South Carolina high school. But this is from a teacher, an assistant teacher, we might add. Uh, got in a little stink. He decided to break out the old poo spray prank
Oh boy.
in Florence County high school teacher assistant Alexander Lewis, 32 years old, ends up with 55K bill and time in jail over some poo spray.
That's a rough one for me. I don't want to see you go to jail because of poop spray. You know what I mean?
I think he took it a couple steps too far,
Oh
though.
boy.
Either that or the poop spray these days is really getting potent.
Honestly, like, is this like, I hate the word military grade because that actually doesn't mean well, Bell. The truth behind that statement. It's funny when people say, this is military grade shit, man. And I'm like, so it's the cheapest shit you could find? No, it's military grade, man. And I'm like, hey, bro, I grew up on a military base with military people. When they say something's military grade, that's not a compliment.
No.
They're saying it's shit. That's literally what they're saying. It's shit. Anyway, hey, thanks for not ripping me apart, by the way, for putting the wrong episode number on last week's show when I sent you the programming. You could have torn me up for that, man. I would have
yes,
let.
I was trying to be nice.
Yeah. I don't really get
You are
that.
the boss.
Well, not really, though. I mean, it's such a proverbial word for a guy that doesn't give a shit. But anyway, I don't. I really don't. No, I do you really though? Do you really not? No, I really don't. I used to. Don't get me wrong. I used to. I mean, guys, think about it. A host had to get fired over horse shit for me to even say a word because I wanted to stay as far away from all of it as possible. But there comes a point where where the free speech crowd isn't really, upholding free speech at all because it's really ironic. This is why I actually believe in differently than others, brother, because everybody always says they want everything to be this, that, or the other. But the minute somebody exercises that and you disagree with it, now you don't want it to be that way.
It's funny how that works.
You know what else people disagree on? Baby names. So besides pooping everywhere for first off, honestly, you got to think from like a adult perspective too, though. Like I feel like that teacher was probably going to lose their job anyway.
Well, here's the thing. He sprayed the poop spray in the air conditioning system.
Oh shit, bro! You didn't give a fuck about JoJo. Like you
Well,
have to know that at best I'm getting suspended and probably going to get reassigned. That's best. That's
right.
at best.
I was surprised he was able to afford the shit.
Damn. We was like, yo, you selling drugs or something to afford that poop spray, dog? Because honestly, teachers don't make that kind of military grade poop spray money.
Right.
Anyway,
To be fair,
not to bring that joke back around, but I'm really good at that. Not to brag. Weak brag, but not to brag. Okay, so
baby names.
Baby names. Let's get into our first bit here of baby names. By the way, great story on the poop story. Again, not that I want to see a teacher lose their job, but you know, you probably could make more money doing IT, honestly, tech support.
Kudos to him for trying to go old school.
I'm not happy about that for teachers, but that's just the truth, dude. Like, I'm not even being a dick about it. That's just the way it is. I'm sorry for that part. I mean, you ever been like legitly sorry you have to inform people that something's horseshit? Because I live that life.
On a regular.
I covered politics. I'm like, listen, I'm talking about having to deliver shitty information on something you wholeheartedly disagree on. I mean, honestly, if I would have been fired already, can we just say that? Like
Yeah.
in today's climate, they would have fired me already. The keyboard click, the screen scum, I don't know what else to call you, but that sits there and goes around trying to ruin people's lives because you disagree with them. I just want to point out are the same kind of people that try to ruin these baby names. I guarantee it. It's got to be the same kind of people. So check this out. This person got some coworkers' name, or got the names. A coworker was considering for kids, and then did what you should do with any coworker's information and share that online. Honestly, if they find out, who shared their info, you're fired. That's HR level stuff.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, it's weird, but this may surprise you. But if we work in the same company and then you go and put my kids' names online that you heard in a team meeting and we don't hang out outside of work, there's no way you could have gotten that information except at work. I can sue the business. And one of the conditions of not suing them can be that they have to fire you. I can literally request your fucking head on a platter. That's a bad idea to begin with. Before we got into this story, I just wanted to point out that was not lost on me. That somebody else on even Reddit pointed that out. You know what I mean? But that wasn't lost on me that you're also sharing your coworkers' kids' names. So that's not smart. Now, here's the real deal, though, of some of these weird names that were shared on Reddit. Here's some of the names that I saw that I could see how someone could really mess that up, right? So, should I give you the fucked up name that I think
Sure.
and agree with some of the readers on, and then tell you what the real name is, or should I tell you the real name and then give the fucked up name your kid's going to be made fun of for?
Well, let's tell us the real name because I mean, I think most of our listeners will get what we're trying to come across with.
Okay, Demetria Rose. But one taking a quick glance might see dementia. I see dementia, but I also don't spell well and can smoke you in algebra and math and calculating and business math and all that fun stuff. But you will kick my ass in an email. I could give a shit about the English language or format because, quite frankly, language is stupid. It doesn't even follow its own rules. I'm not, Chris, I'm not doing this. Every year I have to explain why I hate the English language. And here's a newsflash. I hate most languages. If we just spoke in math, everybody would understand each other.
It's funny.
Sorry, but say I'm wrong. Actually, the universal language is math and binary. If you go around the world, the only two things that can be consistent in every culture is binary code
and math.
So yeah, it's true. Back on track here. So dementia, definitely going to have problems in school. Okay. This next one is Mozilla Corinne, but I kept seeing mozzarella cheese. Okay. Not going to lie to you. I mean, honestly, it's M-O-Z-Z, mozzarella. It starts like that. There's two L's, double L's, and an A in here. You asked for that one. Your kid's going to be called mozzarella.
But let's take this into thought, though. I mean, even with a simple name like mine, I even had nicknames in high school. Did
Okay.
you?
I had stupid nickname, yeah. Had a couple. Some were very out of malice, others were out of respect. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
Um, high school's real. None of us ever want to go back and have to relive that shit. But
Not a
here we
lot of
are,
us,
right?
anyways.
Right, my good friends. Here we are. In hindsight,
What was yours?
smelly feet.
Smelly feet. That doesn't have anything to do with your name.
No, I know. I'm just playing. Usually it was something stupid like Eliseo Greasio or Eliseo
Y-
P, like peeing on yourself, PCO. Just dumb shit.
yeah.
My middle name probably didn't help much. Rhymes with smelly it.
Right. I
So
was always
yeah, it was
Chris
rough.
Crisco.
Crisco,
Yeah.
honestly, I could see that, but if you don't drop a lot of balls, I'm not calling you that out of respect. If you can catch, I'm not calling you that. But if you drop shit, I'm calling your ass Crisco. And every time you drop it, I'm probably calling your ass Crisco. If I'm your boy, I usually going to give you a cool name and a fucked up name. And depending on whether you're doing something good or bad is going to depend on which nickname I call you by, though. I mean, I got standards, people. I'm going to use your nickname. But which one? I got a good nickname for each of my kids, and then I got the one that I only call them by to their stepmom and the walls.
Right.
Okay, sorry, I was hitting my dab pen. If you must know, broadcasting from your own studio has its perks. Okay, bite us.
You. For
So
sure.
the next one is Mayflorin, which I get why people saw it as fluoride, but it also shows how pathetic you really are.
Oh, right.
And the last one pissed me off. It's Artiscus, and I believe it's spelled. Hold on. Corlonial.
Hmm.
One person on Reddit wrote, "I can't stop seeing cornholio," which I'm also immature as all hell, so I did laugh. I'm also equally as immature as all hell, so I found it funny, actually. I didn't just laugh. I actually took part. This
Yeah,
article,
because
though, about somebody griping about other people's kids' names. Whenever you gripe about other people's kids' names, I'm going to find a list of horrible kids' names that make your gripes look insignificant because, well, that's what we do. Honestly.
did you find it hard choosing your child's names?
No. But what I'm finding hard is that I have the programming on my tablet and it just died. I forgot.
Oh, you dork.
Well, it's brand. I can pull it right up on my computer. That's the good news. On the one that's broadcasting the show, that's the good news. So I can get it up pretty quick. Dum-dum, tss.
Got a little split screen.
Everybody else is going to walk away from that one, huh? Okay, good. You probably should anyway, if I'm being honest. Anyway, okay, so no, I don't even need the split screen, honestly. Well, maybe a little bit. I mean, if I'm being honest, every once in a while the split screen's nice because then you can do cool stuff. Anyway, so I found a list of horrible kids' names. let's go through these. I think we've gotten to a point where where people are trying to make their kids so unique that it's become trifling. If I'm going to just be honest, we're at a
I
point now,
feel
America,
it.
where some of these names I found, I mean, the word forcing it comes to mind. The word please don't force it also comes to mind, if I'm being honest. Maybe quit forcing it even comes to mind at this point. Some of y'all is wrong for what you did here. You ready for that?
Stop trying to be so unique.
Oh my God. So first off, let's start with that one. One of the worst baby name girls ever. One Reddit post said, "I'm unique," and it's spelled I''M unique. The word unique.
OMG.
So yeah, if your daughter turns out to be completely a narcissist, we'll know why. We'll definitely
Yeah.
know why. Britney, Shakira, Beyonce. Why would you do that? You should have just picked one, maybe even two, but you went with three? Really, three?
Little outrageous. Let alone your poor kid has to learn how to spell that and write it.
Naviv, which is basically just heaven backwards or close to it, close enough. It's not
Naive.
exactly perfect, but it's close enough, right? Well, I mean, it is, but it's just annoying. It's mind-boggling to me. But anyway, but then I have I have a niece named that.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, but don't worry because there's 800 kids out there named A Miracle, as in A-H Miracle. And let's not forget people who couldn't spell Hazel and went with Hellzell, Hellzll. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
The one that
Oh.
hurt my heart, though, was that there are literally 800 people out there named A Miracle. Listen, we get it. Everything from fertility to fucking is great. I get it, but you don't need to name the baby that. Don't do that to that baby. That's not cool.
Right, because what happens if they turn out not to be a miracle?
You ready for this one? Baberly. Beberly. You can't make that up.
Oh, get out.
Yeah. One name's records showed, ready for this? Little Sweet Meat.
Oh no. Oh
That's
no.
his name. Just for so many reasons that it's already bad enough. It just let's not let that. Oh Jesus! You wouldn't believe this if I told you, Chris, but there are 300 people, over 300 people in the United States named A B C D E. Abasadi. A B C D E. That's
Well,
their name. A B C D E. The letters, fool.
talk about keeping it simple.
And talk about keeping it America. There are literally people named America. Like, America is already kind of a rough name for a girl, right? But then you go and just really like drop anything that's remotely humanly known as the human language off of it and call it America.
And
And
no offense.
I love the America chant for fun because we got a lot of redneck family. Let's just say,
No,
sounds like it
no
is.
offense. Where's the demographic that this came from? Like, is it from the deep south?
I don't know, but there's somebody named Orgasm.
Oh, you gotta be kidding. It's not a girl, is it?
Okay, so I don't know because the labor and delivery nurse did not say, but that's so bad. That's just bad. Well, anyway, another set of parents named their kid Appaloosa, which is really bad because that's like usually the name of strip clubs because it's specifically a thoroughbred horse, female generally.
Yeah.
It's like calling your daughter Philly. It's just so weird. So anyway, everything from Harley Quinn to all kinds of uh, 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 other like weird like things. People, like so many stupid things like political, sports, just dumb as fuck. Tech. There are several people named Apple and Facebook. In Egypt, the person's name is Facebook.
Oh, like why?
Is it real? I'd question that, but Is it real?
Yeah, but with all the other crazy names out there, it probably is.
So some of the
Wouldn't
worst
you?
baby names, Jihad.
Oh.
The worst part is, like, so the problem is that the name in Islamic means to wage religious war, right? As part of your religious duty. The name also means struggling, which, yeah, I think people are going
You
to have
would be.
struggles with that kid. And his name, you know what? That kid's going to go by Jay. I just see that coming. But don't worry, little war baby, religious war baby. It's okay because right next to you is clitoris. And that was
Oh.
one of the worst names we could find for a boy
For a boy?
because it's supposed to be Cletus, but it comes
Oh.
off as clitus or
Well.
clitoris. And they may even be trying to do Clint Eastwood because the last name's Wood, Clitus Wood, clitoris
Oh,
Wood.
jeez.
Little old clitoris Wood there. Probably going to stand all stiff and ridges his whole life. Yeah.
Oh, no. I would so change my name as soon as I got old enough.
Someone named their kid Meldor, which is just way too close to Moldor from Lord of the Rings, you know, like the real bad guy. Like, guys, get your shit together.
My precious.
Of course, Thermopylae.
What are
Thermopylae
these
is
people?
Greek, though. I mean, I get it. I think it's a good idea when someone goes, I like that name, it sounds cool. But I think you still have a job to do because you got to really, 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 really know, like, you know, what that mythical god might have been known for, per se. Might be a good idea.
Yeah.
Gwen Stefani named her kid Zuma after a beach in Malibu, but the problem is it also happens to be so close to Zumba that I just feel like that's asking for it. Somebody named, he said that this guy said that when he was in the Navy, he came across somebody, an officer, whose last name was Star Cruiser. So then he went to go find out what his real name was, and when he found out his real name, Mercury Constellation Star Cruiser, he really felt like that officer should be in the astronaut program, not here on a ship. There's so many bad ones, dude. Like it's bad. Like it's so bad. Rage, Billion, like seriously, guys, like come on. I just think, you know, I mean, we got people naming their kids after, you know, some of the worst tyrants of history. Like in recent, like we're talking within the last 100 years, the worst of the worst one in the last 100 years. People name their kid Lucifer. You know, now knowing people who have, you know, said, "Well, this is what I practice Satanism," and blah 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 blah. I could see that as somebody's naming their kid that because of their practice and, you know, potentially their practice of Satanism or whatever. You know, you have to be open minded that not everybody thinks what you think, and you know, I always tell everybody you can't have a free and fair democracy if you think you're allowed to shun or spite people for their beliefs, right? Which is weird because the same people that gripe about that then have that done to them, and then gripe about that. It's so weird to me, bro, the double standard in the world.
Everywhere.
So weird. It's so weird, it's sus. All right.
It's okay for me to do it, just not you.
Right. Before our next story, a little bit of that love.
Hey, yo. Booming systems across Colorado.
Boom, boom, let me hear say, well. To hear the crowd go. Shake the room.
We like the cars that go boom.
means I'm chilling.
Lazy.
Oh, we're back. Okay. Seems like it was forever. It was literally 15 seconds. Whew. Barely had time to breathe. Feeling good about myself. Living my best life. Holla back, youngin'. Woo-hoo! So, my dear Chris, friend and buddy. So, next story. Okay. Well, I don't know which one I want to do next, but let's pick one because we got to do one and might as well just go to the next one, I guess, right? That's one way to go about
Let's do it.
Okay, so Holly in Lexington, Kentucky tried to cancel an Amazon order placed by her second grader son. Some of you may have heard this story, but I thought it was great, so I was going to bring it to the table because maybe you haven't heard this one yet. Maybe you have, but maybe you haven't. And so I figured let's bring it to the table. So her second grader son, Liam, over the weekend had basically essentially placed an Amazon order because he needed something to bring for the class, right? Like a snack for the class or whatever, right? And so he got his mom's phone, hopped on Amazon, okay? This is where it gets insane. All right? Ready for this?
Yeah, but when kids
Kid
get on
order.
Amazon,
So the kid was trying to order like, the way I would word it is he was trying to order, probably like, 30, a bag of 30 suckers, 30 things in it, whatever you want to call it, right?
I never to
Got to get
cover
me,
everybody in the class.
yeah, I got to get me my 30, suckers from my 30 classmates or whatever, right? So my guy orders suckers, watches it on the mom's phone. They get they show up. My suckers are here, the kid yells. He goes out there to get his 30 suckers in a box, and there are 22 cases of dum-dums. He ordered apparently 30 cases, not 30 suckers. Each case contained 2,340 lollipops and set his mom back over 4 racks.
Oh,
$4
the
grand,
dum
dude.
dum the dum dum factory was happy for that order that day.
He basically was going to set up a carnival, and those were supposed to be the prizes for the carnival. Ah, so I guess the reason why that one jumped out to me probably more than anything is not only the iconic humor, not only did Amazon actually take the refund and refund her back, but
How did the parent not see that it was 30 cases and it was $4 grand?
so between you and me, I have so many questions that I can't even begin to answer.
Do you think the parent ordered it and didn't realize what they were doing?
I'm just like, how do you have that much money? You don't notice $4 grand gone. Okay. Can I just throw that out there? Like, let me just tell you
Right?
that the account the account that funds the Amazon account, if you run like more than a couple $100 on it, it might not clear because I don't keep money there. So I find it weird that people keep people keep like accounts they used to shop with and buy with,
With
that
that
they
much
keep
money.
all their money in those accounts, right? Like I don't do that. I actually have a separate account where all my money sits that's not even touchable by me from any other way than through the bank, right? And then I budget for the for whatever bills need to be paid that week, and then I have the money moved over. It's instant, so I don't worry about it. I can do it immediately if I forget a bill or something, right? So it's just a little weird to me that you have like I don't care how much money I have. I don't keep 4 racks in an account I spend out of, because if it gets frauded, I just don't like that stuff to be able to clear. Now, has that bit me in the butt a couple of times for getting to move money? Sure. But I'd rather live with that than live with having to fight to get my money back.
Yeah. No, not, especially 4 racks.
Yeah, I'm glad that, whoever, whatever, however, I'm really pleased that they did right by her because for real, this is like a parent, you know what I mean? Like, like no parent is expecting their kid to order $4,000 worth of suckers. No one.
But how could the parent not see the notification for the order itself? Nonetheless,
With that said, I have so many questions still
yes.
because you're not wrong, and we don't even have that info in the story. Because I go story surfing through the internets, folks. So sometimes we don't always know the entire thing. What I'll tell you is that's a pretty funny story, but I have so many questions for the mom. I'm
Yeah,
with
right.
Chris. You have some questions to answer because just how, man? Like, how do you let your kid spend 4 racks and you don't notice that? If you would have told me you're ordering 30, like a bag, or even if you'd have told me you're ordering a whole bin of suckers, if it was more than $40, I'd have so many questions. $40 on a big old bin of suckers makes sense to me. Candy's fucking expensive these days, bro.
Yeah, but yeah, it would raise flags to me. How are you not
Red
keeping track of
flags.
you? How are you not keeping track of your Amazon orders?
I also have some
That,
red flags for Tallahassee, Florida, too, though. Tallahassee, Florida, you red flags up the wazoo. Red flags up the wazoo. Chris, in our next story, you dirty rat. You dirty rat. You a dirty rat. You dirty rat. That's right, guys. In Tallahassee, Florida, a Chuck E. Cheese costume wearer, I guess would be the right way to word it, right? A Chuck E.
mascot.
Cheese costume wearer mascot was arrested for credit card theft. But here's where it gets interesting. And this is the part where I was like there are pictures of him being arrested. And my problem is that like right on the Chuck E. Cheese floor. Children in the video, it could be heard saying, "Chucky, no! Why are they taking him away?" So this is why I had to put, Tallahassee, Florida on notice because yes, Jamel Jones, 41 of Tallahassee, Florida, or the surrounding areas, was arrested as a Chuck E. Cheese mascot in Tallahassee, Florida because he had allegedly stolen and used a customer's credit card. Okay. My issue is that could we not have gotten this guy, like, "Oh, hey, Chucky, can you come to the office for a second? We need you for a second in the back," and then arrest him in the back.
Right.
So this is why I say, like, sometimes you have to, like, even the cops have to understand, like, this is not this guy's not maniacal. He's not that's a non-violent crime. He's a thief. That's the end of it. Right? To a degree, that's the end of it. He needs to be held accountable. If this isn't the first time he's done something wrong, he needs to probably get held a little extra accountable. That's the way life works, man.
Right, but
Um,
it's not
but,
like Chucky was
arresting
fleeing and
Chucky in the
eluding.
Chucky suit on the Chucky floor in front of the Chuck E. Cheese kids, I just find that to be a bit trashy for the Tallahassee Police Department. I think that's beneath you guys, and what I don't think they understand is these times at like Chuck E. Cheese are core memory moments for kids, dude. These kids are gonna remember forever the time Chuck E. Cheese was arrested, and it will probably be quite some time, is a good way to look at it, before those kids truly understand why it was necessary, though, right? Um, so I don't want to be splitting hairs here with the Tallahassee Police Department, but I do want to say that doesn't seem very smart. Is the word I would go with. It doesn't feel very good. Is probably another way I'd word it. When I'm looking at the Chuck E. Cheese dude getting arrested in front of kids, and kids yelling like "Chucky, no!" Like
Well,
that seems so dramatic for a child when you could have just had him called to the back by management or da 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 da, or even his manager say, "Hey, can you come back here real quick and help me with this?" And then when they go back there, just have the cops arrest them.
well, you hear, if you won't split hairs, I'm gonna, as a parent, I would have been extremely upset that
I
they
would have
did
been
that in front of my
mortified if my
child.
kids were there, dude.
Yeah, yeah, I'd have been
Mortified. Like we're
hot.
out here trying to share a family moment. And here's the thing is I really, 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 really there's times where we find behavior so deplorable that whatever was going on in the background doesn't matter anymore. And we've seen that from the criminals and the police, right? What I will say is this was not I mean my only plausible guess, okay, and I don't have facts on this, folks. I just want to say the only thing that goes to my head, speaking to police officers and criminals nonetheless over the years, having my own dust up with problems as a younger guy, you know, being honest. I will say this: the police have never once like really thought they had to just like run up on me and like get crunk with me, right? Uh, I've gotten in trouble for petty stuff that's not violent, nothing like that. Just I drug problem, right? So not to downplay that or even the issues behind that I've lived with most of my life, right? But to explain that the police knew that I was not a threat, maniacal and non-maniacal. I mean, you know what I mean? And so I wonder if a guy has a history of being a problem or has a history of running from arrest, I could see them walking right in and just snatching his ass up. We ain't taking no chances. We ain't
Yeah,
playing them game. You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, I get that, but they could cover the entrance and exits of that place.
I
Come
mean, in
on
all
now.
fairness,
I mean,
call
come
him in the
on
back and
now.
arrest him in the back. You know, I tell people all the time, if you steal from your work, they're not gonna have the cops come and arrest you in the fucking grocery aisle while you're stocking the shelves. They're gonna call
No,
you
they're
into
gonna
the
call
count
you to the
room.
back.
They're gonna call you into the count room where you can't run, and just the same place where they take thieves. I've watched this go down, dude. I've literally watched this happen to people. They run you in the
Or
back
come to
room.
the
They sit you
manager's
down with
office,
security.
please.
You can try to run, um, but you're just gonna make it worse. They'll hit you with extra charges because here's the thing: is you're not running, you're not under arrest because no one there has the authority to actually arrest you. Fair play.
Yeah.
But if you make a scene, run, I'm telling you, man, if you push a guard out of the way, they're going to charge you with assaulting a peacekeeper. Because, in
Yep.
the sense, while they're not a deputized officer of the law, they are a security guard entrusted with keeping the peace of that private property by that property owner. And as long as they're not in the wrong for anything, you're going to get extra charges over it. I guarantee, dude, I'm telling you, there are district attorneys' offices that just think of shit to charge people with or think of ways to charge you with a few extra charges. And when you go to court, that can be overwhelming. I would say that the
Fleeing
best
and
thing to do would have
eluding.
been to throw him in the back. He's not running. He's not a runner. He is a petty thief, credit card thief. That's what he is.
Well,
All jokes aside.
well, here's the other question: does Chuck E. Cheese potentially going to have a backlash from the parents? Like, I'm going to sue you for traumatic damage to my child.
You know, I'd say that there's got to be at least one person that probably would go there. But I think what
Well,
people
yeah,
don't understand is if you want to start some shit like that, no matter what, you better have like actual real lawyer money. You better have 30, 50 grand set aside to go after somebody like that. Because if you don't, what'll happen is they'll keep getting your lawyer in court, which cost you money, while never actually getting anything done in court, and they'll try to bleed you out, and they'll just drag it on and on and on. They may offer you some weak ass settlement if they can keep it out of the news and you'll never speak about it. I mean, you literally can't come talk on a podcast like this about it, or your entire settlement is null and void. You understand what I mean? You may
yeah.
actually have to pay Chuck E. Cheese back if you settle, and then
I, I
speak about it.
just, I just know there's Karens out there that would do shit like that.
Oh, and I'm sure there's Karens out there that got 50 racks to go ahead and just do the damn thing. Because you know what? Because motherfucking bitch be tripping. You know what I'm saying? Why'd y'all beat me though? We could have just said you tripping. Why are you beeping my cuss word? This motherfucker let me say every other cuss word, but tripping. Dude, stop it. I'm done. Bitch, sucker. Wasn't done. Bro, I didn't even talk any beef to me. You fucking prick, I swear. All right. Anyway, welcome to the world we have to live in. Last story, buddy.
Let's get it.
Oh, okay. No, first off, there's two stories, but since we're running short on time, I'm going to breeze through this next one. 3-course Turkish delight story was really just kind of cool, man. Like this person said that they found like basically under $4 US meal in Turkey, like traveling, and it was like a full 3-course meal. So, basically for anybody that you don't understand, that's likely going to be like for a 3-course, that's going to be a salad, an entree, and a dessert, generally speaking. Okay. Or it's going to be a soup, a salad, and an entree, something like that. It's going to have the 3 courses, an appetizer, an entree, a dessert, something like that. Make sense?
Yeah.
That's what 3 courses are, guys. That's why when you tell me you had a 5-course meal, I'm like, what were the 5 courses then? People, bro, I've had people, I had a 7-course meal, and I'm like, whoa, wow, that's impressive. You can barely get me to remember the 5-course meals, the 5 courses of a 5-course. So that's impressive. You had a 7-course meal because that includes a couple of other things. And usually that comes down to soup and salad separate, right? And all that. But anyway, so I'm like, wait a minute. If you had a 7-course meal, what are your courses? Motherfuckers start naming the sides, bro. I'm like, just because your sides came on separate plates, that's not a different course. That's somebody playing you for a fool. No.
And you can't count the drink.
No, a course, an appetizer on one plate should be enough for the amount of people at the table. Otherwise, it should be a small amount on separate plates. That's my first. I prefer the appetizer first, although I don't mind going salad appetizer, but appetizer, salad, or soup course. If the soup course is separate, I always like to do my soup after the salad because I don't want my mouth all hot when I'm trying to eat a cool salad. Although I do see people's eyesight on that when they say they like the salad after the soup to cool, sort of cool the palate. I get that. But yeah, to find a 3-course meal, dude, for like $4 or $5 US in Turkey, that blows my mind. It literally blows my mind. By the way, the coffee is at the end of a meal after dessert. That's actually one of the courses in a 7-course. It's a fucking drink, guys. Just like the pre-meal cocktails. This is how you get to 7 courses, bro. You got to start throwing in extra shit like the pre-meal cocktail, then the appetizer, then you deliver the salad, then you deliver the soup, then you deliver the entree, then you deliver the dessert, and then you deliver the post-dessert cocktail and or coffee. And generally that's decided by either the taker and or the type of dessert, because certain desserts just don't pair well with coffee. And so you want like like maybe a mimosa or something with it instead, even if you're not trying to drink. But anyway, and you just found out how fancy of a bitch I can really be. But anyway, I'm like, you got to start throwing all this extra shit in there. But the truth is, a good 5-course meal is basically, a appetizer, soup or salad, the entree, the dessert. Oh, I'm forgetting something else. Usually that one, in a 5-course, you can throw in like the soup and salad separately and to turn it into from a 4 to a 5-course, But if you pair the choice, then you can dumb down the course and, make more money, save money. That's for my restaurateurs out there. I've ran a few restaurants in my time. I had fun doing it. It's not for me. It's a night. It's a guy who likes nights. It's a guy who doesn't like sports ball puck on the weekends. For me, those guys work when I want to be at the bar enjoying food, watching a game. And so basically that's not for me anymore. That is everything is else failed, Chris. That is the fallback.
Gotta pay the bills.
All right, Chris. So, before we do the last thing, get out of here, a couple things here. Comments, concerns, complaints, as well as to be a guest on the show. Email info@wakethelletterNBakeAmericaShow.com. Of course, that'll get you exactly what you need around here. Of course, Wake and Bake America does not partner with the commercials that you hear these days. We currently do not control the ads, and while we could go back to controlling them with a partner for the show, in the time being, you'll be hearing whatever your content podcast provider fits in for ads. Should we find a good sponsor for the show, heck, we'll go there. But until then, not our problem, not our fault. All right, that's all I had to say. Okay, Chris, last story. This one I like for a PSA more than anything. Did you watch the video?
Yes.
Bro, what the hell wrong with these damn kids? I know they used to say that about us too, bro. Like, I'm not dumb. I'm not dumb. They said that about us too. But I gotta tell. Oh, you know what though? I was just about to say I gotta draw the line on jumping on a moving train and trying to ride it like a surfboard. Right? I draw the line somewhere, even as a kid. Right?
Yeah.
Wrong. Wrong. Actually, wrong. We used to train hop the train, and this thing would be hauling ass at like 35, 40 miles an hour, and we would literally get jump on it and jerked onto it, right? Because we knew it would be slowing down soon, and we could jump off at my grandparents' house. So we used to ride the coal trains from our home down to my grandparents like some straight hobos, right? Literally like some straight train hobos, some straight train riders. No lie. And then we would jump off at my grandparents, and then just we knew our parents were like going bowling, or we knew my aunt was going to be coming over to my mom's, and so we would jump off at my aunt's, which was like a couple blocks short of where my grandparents' house was, and then you had to cut through the ditch, right?
I hoboed it from Lansing to Florida one time.
What? As an
Yeah.
adult?
No, as a teen.
Okay. Did you run away from home, you little bitch?
No.
Oh, you just doing it to do it. I like your style then. You wouldn't even be a
So
little crybaby.
yeah, no, it was summer break. I was being foolish, goof-assing around. Well, you know, when you get on a train and don't really know where it's going
Oh,
and it
fuck.
decides not to stop, you kind of just go for the adventure.
You know, honestly, though, I get that. Like, there have been times in my life where I've been like, I haven't been home for 3 fucking days. What in the fuck am I doing here?
Oh,
Who are
yeah,
all these people? Like, what happened here? You know, like literally, that's my life, though.
and you have to think about this. This was before cell phones,
Oh man, you ain't even lying.
even before pagers for that matter.
Again, not even lying. You know, I remember my dad. I wanted a pager so bad. I don't know. Now that I think about it, it was like the dumbest thing I probably bought.
Right?
It was really only so my friends could tell me to call them, which they could have just called me to talk to me. It was, but I did have it also though because I was always gone from the house all the time, and like my mom would need to get a hold of me.
Every day
She
I'm
just hit the pager,
hustling,
and
hustling.
I was at worker practice. I just call her. I was rarely home though. I didn't like being at home. There's a lot of chaos at home. I've never liked that, like all the yelling and hooting and hollering, but not in like in a good way. Trust me. I wish, but no, definitely not in a good way. Just usually like people screaming and yelling at each other, and usually it's like arguing about over who's right over stuff that doesn't even matter. I think that's always bothered me the most. When people like argue over stuff that doesn't even matter. Like there are times where like who's right is going to matter. Like if you tell me to plug a router into a router, me being right about you being an idiot is going to matter. But
Right?
there are
Were
times where the opinions are fluid and allowed, you know?
these people were jumping subway trains though, weren't they? Or like L trains?
Dude, seriously. Like they were surf riding subway trains, like L trains, like you're talking about. The above ground ones, for those of you that don't know.
Right, like Chicago and
New York has a few, I think. Maybe.
yeah,
Maybe New
not
York's are
very
all
many.
underground now, unless you get outside the city, though. But places like Chicago, I know Phoenix, the light rail comes above ground. Denver too.
Oregon has
Oregon
L
does that.
trains.
There's above
Yep,
ground.
yep.
I know in Dallas, it's like below and above ground. It depends on where you're at, if I remember right. It's been, I mean, dude, I haven't lived or been to Dallas in 25 years. It's been a long time.
No, yeah, because they're
I've lived all over the country in different
Mexicans.
places, man. But that is definitely one. Dallas is a blast from the past place for sure. So for that story, I think that one kind of just bothers me. I don't like that. Like you kids can't be out there just riding the right. Like, come on, ride that train. No, don't. Like, do
Oh,
not ride the
right.
train. Knock it off. That's dumb. There have been, I think, what did the article say? Been like 4 kids killed already or something? I forget.
Right.
Or it wasn't an article, but it was a news report. It was a video I sent
News
you.
report. Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think it said like something like maybe it might even be more than 4 kids. We could be getting that wrong. I mean, we're always willing to admit that we may not have that stat right, but it was something like a handful of kids or so have been killed. There have been dozens and dozens of events around the country. It's some Tiki Tubi Facebooky XE Instagreasy
Yeah.
fucking type
Stop
of
these
trend shit.
TikTok trends these TikTok trends that are causing people to lose their lives. I mean, regardless whether it was four or just one kid, we can't be doing some of these things in light of the danger.
What it is you are risking not only death, but in some of these cases, dismemberment of limbs and so on and so forth. And I always tell when people always tell me like we could die, I'm always like, you're right. But let me tell you though too, if we don't act right now, there are worse things than death. Okay.
Just
So
because they
sometimes I
do
tell
an
people,
in,
I'm like, I have to remind people, like, we need to go deal with this now because I don't care if we fall off along the way. We have to risk that because at this point, if we don't, the alternative may actually be worse to have to live.
without a couple limbs,
I tell people all the time, you want to know something worse than death? Jail, bitch. That's why I stay
right?
out of trouble because jail to me is worse than death. Jail is death. If you ask me, I mean,
It might as well be.
nobody's asking me.
Nothing being
But if they
worse than
were
being
asking
trapped
me,
in a
they'd know.
square box.
They know how I feel. Chris, turned up headlines. I got to tell you guys out there, obviously we've found some goofy shit, but we're going to be turning the corner here and turning the page going into the end of September and into October with some more serious stuff. For instance, one of the big things next week we're going to be talking about is should the wealthy have to pay a wealth tax for replacing good, decent, honest, hardworking Americans? And then when should that happen? That's going to be the big discussion next week, Chris. And it's not going to be a pleasant, friendly conversation because, this is something that impacts a lot of people directly. And actually, my field of work specifically is definitely going to be impacted in a sense at some point.
Yep.
Thankfully, AI is still dumb enough that it really can't do my job, and it definitely can't do my job efficiently. Because when it does my job efficiently, it actually doesn't resolve problems. It just
Huh.
bails out and sends a technician to a customer instead of actually fixing the problem.
Right.
So knowing that, it doesn't have reason. The one thing that AI is going to have a hard time with for years to come, but eventually probably they'll figure it out, is reason. Being able to reason something is a complicated and very complex thing. The human brain is literally the most complicated computer on the planet. The human brain is more complicated than most supercomputers could wish to be. Okay. It's just, it's, you have so many neuroprocessors or neuroreceptors firing off all at the same time for everything from breathing to blinking to thinking to seeing to processing all that information to moving. It's why making a robot that's even remotely humanoid and truly remotely humanoid is so difficult still.
I think I
There's just
think
little
you
things
know
we do. I call them nuances, right? Human nuances that
I
are
think
hard to fake.
AI is going to be able to do a lot of things even in the future, but I mean ultimately eventually they're probably going to get to the point where they're going to do a lot of the things that humans do. But I mean, I think it's going to take quite some bit of time before they actually allow that to happen.
Oh, we're
Uh,
talking hundreds of years before the wealth people finally lose. Hundreds of years. Because
right.
here's where they'll lose. There'll either be a catastrophic war, and then you don't have customers, or you'll lose in the way they don't want to lose, which is, for instance, I've told the wealth people this: if you build, let's say, I don't know, let's just say an internet company, right? And you're the only internet company, as an example, okay? And you have AI running it, right? How do you you have 10,000 AI instead of 10,000 employees, right? So you're taking 10,000 spenders, buyers, consumers, and you're removing them. We're you at there could be a point where if you over AI stuff and you put us all out of work, There
There ain't
could
gonna be
be a
no one
point where that
spending
becomes a
money.
problem. Now, listen, that's the conversation for next week, and that's why I wanted to pre-gap it, because it's so profound. We could even put it down. We'd be in trouble. We're already over the
Yeah.
clock, so we're going to get out of here and leave. But I'm telling you, next week is going to be a show that if you're a tech person, if you're a nerd, if you're somebody who's very fascinated with stuff like how AI has its good deeds and how it could actually be the downfall of the working class, and then also that could be the downfall of all things we know economic. Because if you don't have a working class to consume and spend and buy because they don't exist because you've replaced them with robots, then who's going
Then
to
we have
give
no
you
more
money?
millionaires.
Yeah,
No more millionaires.
yeah. Well, it's funny. The billionaires won't lose, but I will tell you, all you guys that are so proud of being millionaires, Chris, have a good night.
You too.
This is your station.
I like this right here.
The People's Station. Monuments, Falcon, and Colorado's
Here comes the heat, y'all.